Cut that cash and make that grass.
So I always was like pregnant.
Hey, it's Aaron with the Mowing in the Dark Lawn Care Podcast.
Hey, this is Tony's Lawn Care Talk.
Hey guys, Cameron here with the Lawn Care Life in Missouri.
Hey guys, this is Dan White with Lawn Care Unscripted.
What up guys, it's Phil with Phil's Lawn Care.
And you're listening to the Turf Nerds.
Greg. You gotta be kidding me, bro.
Okay. There, now we got it. Okay, you were right that time. Take two.
That time?
No, you're right more than you think.
How many other times?
No, you're right. I did it again. I didn't actually hit the record button on StreamYard, but I do have it recording on the Rodecaster Pro 2. Aren't I a genius?
Are you sure?
Oh, well.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, well, sometimes I think I'm sure. Yeah, we were working on a YouTube video, Greg. I uploaded one of mowing. It was about 45 minutes on 3 different lawns, guys. Check it out on the Turf Nerds YouTube channel. But I used a cover of a song that a guy did, and they said he can't use the melody. And they hit me with it's a copyright strike, but it doesn't affect the channel. So I had to go through and find a different song, Greg. And I was explaining that to you, and that was just, you're like, yeah, okay, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you put a different song in there though now, and it's good.
Yeah, I found a different song. Cameron was kind of helping me, but in the future, because we're getting close to getting the channel, Lord willing, monetized, I gotta use songs that won't get us in the can. But channel's in good standing, so that's good. But it's been quite a wild weekend, Greg, hasn't it?
Yeah, we were busy this weekend, weren't we?
That was fun too.
We got a busy week. We both got our mowing done on by Thursday, right?
Yeah, that's like a miracle. It's because I've had help on here's a new mowing drop, Greg. Hey guys, remember we go live on Monday and Wednesday nights at around 9 p.m. Got a couple new drops, so you've already heard this one, Greg, and a couple guys have, but we gotta load these up here.
Cut that cash and make that grass.
What if you did that? Cut the cash and made the grass. What if grass was like money?
Well, some guys sell grass and make money off of it, so I guess you got to be careful.
They do. Yeah. You're right about that. I think the neighbor across the street. So it was funny today, Greg. Like these guys in this painting, like this creeper painting van, this commercial residential painting. They showed up. They backed into the driveway. They were in there for about 10 minutes and then left. I'm like, no way, that was a painting quote. I'm pretty sure the guy across the street deals.
That's comforting.
Oh, yeah. He's a nice dude, works at Ford and golfs a lot, and he's actually a pretty good golfer, so I guess it's is what it is. I tried to share the love of Christ with him, so I'm at least trying to do something right.
Yeah, so see what you can do. Hey, we had, a few years ago, we had a guy that was renting a house down the street, and he was big trouble, and he wound up, I guess the girl rented the house, her boyfriend moved in with her, and then they all took over. All these guys were druggies and alcoholics, and
wow.
So they basically took over the house, and this girl moved out.
It's like squatting almost, isn't it?
Yeah, but they took over the house. They were paying the rent, but these guys were doing drugs, and it came to a big culmination one night when
kerfuffle.
When one of these guys, one of the guys strung out, wound up knocking on the neighbor's door, and the guy came out and started beating him up, and they wound up having to call the cops. And
really,
it was interesting experience because that day those people were out of the house. So
wow.
Somehow they just said they're done, get them out.
That's wild.
They contacted the homeowner who was renting to these people, and they said, get out. So they kicked them out of the house. So that was an experience.
Yeah, I bet you you basically said really to that one.
Really? Well, the funny, I didn't know all that was going on. It was a couple doors down from me. These guys were 3 doors down. They were causing all the trouble, but the neighbor 2 doors down, and then the guy across the street were dealing with all kinds of issues. So it was pretty bad. And I didn't even realize it. It was only 4 houses away from me. But
it's like
what was
6 degrees
funny,
of separation, isn't it?
Yeah, 4 houses of separation, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, 4 houses of separation.
The one time Miles was doing something for baseball. They were doing returnables. They were trying to raise money for their team.
Oh yeah.
So we went around the neighborhood asking people for cans and bottles, and we walked up to this guy's house, and he goes, "Oh yeah, he's come around to the garage." he hands us 2 big garbage bags full of returnables.
Huh, that's
and
nice.
we're looking and going, this guy's a drinker.
Oh yeah, I mean, he was just loading you guys. Well,
Yeah.
at least he was being charitable. Could say that, right?
Yeah, there were probably $10 in cans in there. Remember,
Holy smokes.
that's 100 cans. Or
Wow.
It might have been more. It could have been like, now that I think of it, I think it was probably $20. So there were a couple hundred cans in there. I have to ask Miles if he remembers.
That's some cash right there, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's a lot of cans. So
Oh, goodness, man, I was in marching band, guys. You can make fun of me for that, but I played trumpet, and we had to do like a can drive to try to raise money for the band program. That was always kind of fun. I didn't like going door to door and basically asking people for their cans, but some people actually appreciated it, though.
yeah, no, I know people that throw them out. They just don't want to deal with returning them.
Yeah,
so they just throw them out.
We kind of sometimes throw out some here and there if Hannah's just trying to clear things out, because I can get oddly pat-racky with, I'd say that pack-ratty with certain things. And at least with the business, though, Greg, at least the garage and stuff is more organized the past month because I've had more time, praise God. Been a tad more organized, dude. Are you pack-rat, Greg? Man, I can't even talk.
Well, it depends who you talk to.
Yeah.
If you ask Shell, she would say yes. But it's funny though, because you buy a tool, I mean, and she's, well, you haven't used this tool in a while. And I said, well, yeah, you don't throw out tools just because you used it. And it was funny because I had a pop rivet gun.
Yeah.
And I bought it 30 years ago, used it for something, haven't used it again until 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And I was going, see, I used it again.
You still needed it. Yeah.
I still needed it. And then needed it like 2 months later. So why would you throw it out? Why would you get rid of it?
You don't throw out men's tools.
No.
But speaking about that, Greg, we're getting a little excited. We're a month away from the Equip Expo. So we're back on the horse with that. Promo code Turf Nerds for that, Greg, but also not even using our code, but we're really getting excited for the prayer breakfast, aren't we?
The prayer breakfast is going to be neat.
It's free.
Yes, it's free, guys. You got Mike Singletary is going to be speaking as the keynote speaker. It's at the Crown Plaza. Doors open at 6:30 for, I think that's when breakfast starts as well, right?
I think so.
And then
check the website again.
Yeah, so it's 6:30 for the breakfast, and then 7 o'clock is the program. So make sure, guys, if you have an opportunity to get out there for that prayer breakfast, it's going to be a lot of fun. You'll meet a lot of brothers in the Lord there.
Yeah, and a brother that we want to show up there is Ezra McCarthy over at Green Frog Web Design. Maybe if you see him there, you can talk to him about making you a website. I'm not sure if he's coming to the expo, Greg, because he is so bunkered down there in Canada. I mean, he's more far out there than Cameron Duncan with the Lawn Care Life in Missouri. So, but we're really looking forward to it, though, Greg. But the food,
even though Missouri's right in the middle of the state.
Yeah, Missouri's only 10 hours from Metro Detroit,
yeah.
making it sound like it's like far away.
Yeah.
But Cameron Mo's out there in the sticks, guys. Some of his videos on his Lawn Care Life in Missouri YouTube channel, guys, check it out. They're pretty cool. On our live stream, Greg, we were watching a couple, and he's got that bend track. Man, he can take down trees with that, basically.
That's a cool toy.
Oh, it is.
That would be fun to have, to be able to test that thing out. So, or even have it. So I'd like to have it, but I got to have the jobs to do it. So we just don't see that kind of work here.
No, and see, that's the thing. It's just what a great tee up and a great transition, Greg. So,
Thank you.
Cameron can get into that because he mows, but he's been able to get into the Ventrac, I guess, service and offer that to clients, knocking down fields. And one thing I do have to mention, guys, is I'm looking forward to this. I'm expanding my services this year, and I'm going into snow plowing myself with the multi-force plow. So that's coming soon, but kind of want to frame this up, guys. So we all start mowing grass, but what other services should we add to grow profitably and to fill out the schedule? And you and I, Greg, we kind of mirror this here. I mean, we always have worked within our abilities, but we're always trying to learn more and to expand, because we got mulch installs, we got our hedge trimming, brush removal and cleanups, and Some things, Greg, you'd say have been smooth, these jobs, and others have kind of been a headache. But then also aerations, I got a sick deal on an aerator a couple of years ago. So we got into that, though, Greg, but we've slowly, you'd say we've added on services over time, and now we're making some money with these ancillary services, aren't we?
It's good to have those opportunities that can come your way. Learn how to trim, guys. Do hedge trimming, and it's not that hard. Could be hard on your back depending on how low the shrubs are.
Oh yeah.
Or how long the reach is. But yeah, I mean, there's opportunities for you guys. You can charge more for the work, and I don't know about you. You could probably add $5,000 to $15,000 annually on doing side jobs or more. I know there's guys that make more than that.
Oh yeah, like your core lawn add-ons, like the warm season services, Greg. These guys can do this because the barrier is lower than trying to get into aerating. But we started with mulch and hedge trimming off the rip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the mulch. What do we charge? I charge $140 a yard. Yep. If I get a 10-yard job, that's a $1,400 job.
Likewise.
And the mulch costs roughly, if we get, after you get your discounts, mulch is on a 10-yard job, $270. So you're making $1,100 profit on something like that. So that's good. 10 yards by yourself, you could do it in 10 hours if you don't have a multi-force. But when you get that multi-force, what did we do with? We did 2 yards in 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it wasn't even. I think it was actually 3 yards. It was like a 3-yard job, just all in his backyard, in about 45 minutes. It was a joke. We're just sitting there shaking our heads, and that mulch force bucket, that was about $2,200. Already paid. See, that paid for itself. Mm-hmm. It's probably a tad of a high barrier, but sometimes you do. It might be right to buy something used or maybe finance something new if the profit margins on that are high and it's a good ROI. Yep. But a lot of these, though, Greg, these are easy to offer services that almost anyone can add. Because I was talking to Raleigh Spencer, Greg, he didn't really offer fall cleanup services, and I said you should just offer a mulching up leaves. Just getting in. I know we have a whole bunch of guys who listen from they're seasoned in the business or they're just starting out, but start with your mowing and then try to break into fall cleanups because you can mulch up leaves and do it that way. And if your climate stays dry, you can take everything to dust and make good money just by mulching up the leaves. And you don't even have to get those big leaf loaders. Like you and I, Greg, get by on a very low, I guess. Low, it's not really a complex setup. Yeah, like low budget setup with what we do for that.
Mm-hmm. No, it's the opportunity that you have with that is really are plentiful. I have 60-ish accounts, and I'll probably do 10, 15 cleanups. And granted, they might be 3-hour jobs or so, or 3 or 4 hour jobs. Some of them are a little bit longer, but 3 hours, that's roughly about $300 for me. And that adds up. You do 10 of those $300 jobs, you just add $3,000 to your bottom line. And then you got spring cleanups too. So you can do
those
spring
are big
cleanups.
As well.
And those paid the same as the falls. So you can do the fall cleanups are usually a little bit more, but the spring cleanups, problem with those is if somebody didn't do a cleanup in the fall.
Oh, yep. I've been there, done that.
Man, that's just, and I try and tell people, no, do the fall cleanup. Your spring cleanup won't be as bad. And they don't want to listen. And so then you stand there blowing and blowing and blowing until you get the leaves to come off the ground because they pasted themselves to the lawn. So, but I mean, those are, the spring and fall cleanups are definitely opportunities for you to be able to add a good bottom line, $3 to 10 grand on your bottom line.
Yeah, because definitely with leaf removal and even snow, that's year-round thinking. And Raleigh was thinking about doing it. You could still get guys, if you're in a more low-income area, guys, you could offer like $60 an hour to mulch up leaves and still make profit. And any profit at this point is better than no profit. Slap on a set of gator blades or gator mulching blades and do it like that, Greg. And it's been so great. I've been able to focus on more of my add-on services this year because my time's been freed up because I've actually had help. Hedge trimming's been huge. There's a lot a lot of profit to be made in that. And we've gone, we've wrestled that we have this Echo PAS power attachment pole trimmer. It's a heads trimmer. And that thing's a bear. It's like Jacob and God wrestling, right? But that thing's great. That's birthed us into jobs that we would have never have dreamed, and we price them. I price them basically by the hour. It's like $100 an hour to trim the hedges, and then I'll do like a little bit of a removal fee. But guys, you don't go into it thinking, because I still think this, Greg, that I have to make all these hedges look like a perfect 90 degrees and all that stuff. It takes time, and I'm pretty good at doing it, Greg, but I've never had anyone, even when I first started hedge trim, ever knock me on the hedge looks bad. Everyone is always, they're like literally blown away. They're like, this is such a great job. And it makes you feel good, right, when they comment on how nice our hedges look.
Yeah, have you ever used one of those ones that have the sweeper? I've seen some guys that they just do it so clean.
Oh yeah.
Is that the ones with the sweeper? I don't know how to make mine as clean as that. I can't get that, but some of these guys do. I don't know if the teeth are closer or what.
Yeah, I think there's an attachment for it, but I think some guys were using, I thought some guy used like a box or something to like line up something, or maybe a piece of wood or like something to kind of like keep your hand more steady. But here's the thing with those 90-degree hedges, in those really tight bushes, those have to be trimmed more on the regular, because with us, Greg, we have clients that just want them trimmed once a year. If I could sucker them into, if you got them for trimming 2 times a year, they would almost probably save money, because it would take them, or take us less time, but then that would free us up to go add on more hedge trimming jobs. Another thing that we've both gotten into, Greg, is bush removal. I did a job with my buddy Rocky this past spring. We used my truck to pull out these dead box bushes, and Greg, they looked dead, but they were in there.
Oh yeah.
Maybe underbid that, but you live and you learn. And any sort of truck, obviously doing it safely. We have these rhino straps, and we pulled them out and made the yard look nice.
Yeah, I've got to probably pull some of mine out this year. And they're just old bushes that just don't look very good, and I'm probably going to wind up at least pulling a couple out. But you got to call the Miss Dig though, to make sure that when you're pulling those things out, that you don't have any issues. I had a client a couple years ago. She wanted me to pull her shrubs, and I said, okay, yeah, no problem. And at the last minute, I thought, I should probably just call Miss Dig, just to be sure. And not going to be a big deal, but guess what was running right under the shrubs when I tried to pull them, when I was getting ready to pull them?
What
a gas line.
Yep.
Yeah. And I called a buddy of mine who does tree removal and stuff.
Hello, this is Greg.
That's what you said, right?
Yeah, I said, hello, this is Greg. Hey, question for
Check
you.
This.
What would you do on this? And he said, why don't you let me come by and look at that? And he came by and he says, no, you can't pull those. And he says, all you can do is cut them down and throw some salt on the stumps. So, and just put a bunch of salt on the stumps, drill some holes in it, put some salt in there, and that'll eventually kill it off. Although I did hear another thing was copper nails or copper screws, you could do the same. And one of my neighbors, a couple doors down, he knew he's got some property up north, and he got to know a bunch of the farmers, and they told him, hey, if you're pulling any trees, nail some copper screws in the stumps. It'll break that thing down quickly.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a way to go, and that's a way to do that. But Greg, we've been kind of focusing on this because it's been dry, and our bread and butter's mowing, and we actually have decent profit margins on that because we got fairly good route density. You do and I do, but it's been making us focus on other ways to make money, and that's why we're kind of focusing on this. And we started in our specialty service. It's this is more high barrier to get in, guys. Even if you don't aerate or overseed, which Greg can kind of touch on more of the overseeding aspect, because I've kind of got the pricing down for that though too. It might be smart, you just got to run ideas. You can like rent gear before you buy it, guys. You can rent aerators. My dad and I did that, Greg, back in the day. Those walk behind ones, they're bears. Oh
yeah, that's what I've heard. I've never used.
Have you ever used one of those?
I have not. I have used a sod cutter. I don't know if you've ever used a sod cutter before.
No.
That is brutal, and you're just standing there and you feel like you're holding a jackhammer. but they cut sod well.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but the aerator, no, I've not used the one, or I've not rented them, the walk behinds, because I don't need to. You have one.
And we kind of, we've made out on this, and I've kind of slowly adjusted the price over time for my aerations. I was having them really high, but I kind of creeped them into that like sweet spot where they're kind of getting that deal. Because I've asked guys all over the map, and a lot of guys charge different prices for the aerations, but you just got to you just got to price it out like where the market is. And I've called vert guys and asked them, hey, how much you charging for this? It's networking in this industry that helps out huge. Mm-hmm. And overseeding though, Greg, I mean, you could overseed and not really have an aerator. You just have to, I mean, if someone wanted to overseed certain sections of the yard, right? Couldn't you just use like the weasel? So kind of explain, Greg, because this is cool about overseeding, because we made out big time yesterday, and it's really like no effort to do it.
Yeah, so we just we aerated the lawn, and then here actually we should kind of walk them through. I know we did a video on it, but just if somebody didn't happen to catch it.
Yeah.
So what we did was we aerated the lawn. I called Steve over at Rhino Seed.
Our buddy
and
Steve, yep.
Steve Kolangowski, and talked to him a little bit, because we've seen guys say, do you overseed first and then aerate, or do you aerate then overseed? And I called Steve, because Steve's our turf master. Went to MSU for his turf degree, and so I said, Steve, what do you recommend? And he said, I say aerate first and then overseed. And then, but what he did say though was make sure to chop up those cores. So run your mower over those cores after, try and let them dry a little bit, and then run your mower over those cores so that you're kind of giving a top dressing on the lawn as well, and you're breaking up those cores. And then put your seed down, and then if you have a roller, roll out the seed, because now you're getting that seed right down onto the surface of the soil, as opposed to maybe sitting on top of the grass blades. So... but we found that worked out really well for us. And then the overseeding, you can use a spreader. If your aerator has an attachment, you can put that on and go from there. But there's different ways you can do it. But I say seed after. And but like you just said though, something else is if you got somebody that just has a lawn that needs seed, just go ahead and seed. So I didn't answer your question fully though, did I?
What I like though is I didn't even think about mowing after aerating if you're going to overseed, Greg, because that treats it like a basically like top dressing. Yeah. And then using the roller though too. So elaborate quickly on how do you kind of navigate the pricing of overseeding? Because guys, you could do this too with an inexpensive spreader and kind of map it out. You don't really always have to. You don't have to aerate. It's just I would probably try to. I mean, what I would do. You could overseed certain spots of the yard that are really bare and burned out, and like even put down topsoil. You could do it like that. It's always creative ideas.
For top dressing,
or like overseeding though too. You could beat up the area with like the weasel, and then throw a couple bags of topsoil down, and then overseed it, and then you could overseed sections and still make money doing it like that, and don't even have to aerate.
Yeah, if you can do that, if you just have some patchy stuff that you need to work on. So rather than aerating is really the way to go, though. If you have the opportunity to aerate, and then because that's going to be so much better for the lawn. And then if you're overseeding, it's always hard to find the right seed, and to make sure you have the right kind of seed. So if you can get them to let you. What's that?
We got good seed, but tell us how you'd price it. So my yard, Greg, let's say it's 3,000 square foot lawn, like just the lawn.
Yeah, 3,000 square feet. Depending on the seed you're going to use, it's anywhere from 3 to 6 pounds per 1,000 squure feet of yard. If it's already got grass on it, if it's bare grass, then you're going to need more seed. But that's I guess a little different conversation. But if it's already a set lawn, but it's got some patchy type of stuff in it, it's depending on the seed you're using, 3 to 6 pounds per 1,000 square feet. The stuff that we've been using, we've been really happy with lately, is that tough stuff out of Rhino Seed.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, and it comes out real green, looks real nice, and but that one, he says to go ahead and use 6 pounds of that per 1,000 square feet. So he's a little bit more. He likes that a little bit more. But the advantage is though, is if you're doing the whole yard, or even the front yard or the backyard, that you're getting a consistent grass seed there. So
Yes.
you don't have, you don't do a patch of one spot and then all the other grass is rye and then you just put a bunch of Kentucky Blue down or something.
Okay, Kentucky Blue, yeah.
Yeah.
I had to.
So you just want to make sure that you've got some consistency on your lawn there with your grass seed because how often do you see it where you got 4 different kinds of patches of grass on the
It's
lawn?
everywhere.
Yeah.
So 3 to
this
6
way
pounds.
we're getting
36 pounds per 1,000 square feet. And then how about the price? Like, okay, how much you charging for the seed? Because I kind of liked how you like had this rule of like how you did it. So,
well, with us at Rhino Seed, we get we basically get a 50% discount.
oh yeah,
Going through those guys. So I just charge them the retail price. So I just charge them, I think it's $5 a pound retail. We get it for $2.50. I just charge them the $5 a pound.
sure.
And then what I've been doing is charging for whatever it cost me to mow the lawn to put the seed down.
Like the install. Yep, that's fair
that's
too.
the install. Yeah,
And that's reasonable. And we were high profit margin yesterday, weren't we?
yeah, we did pretty well. We did spend a little bit more time on the lawn than usual because we had those patches. Now that's something else for us to consider too, because we had those 2 pretty big spots, the one by that rock and then the other one in the front yard. They needed a little bit more work. So we wound up having to spend a little bit more time on those. So something like that, you can consider, you know what, maybe I need to do a little upcharge on this because it's going to take more time to do. So, but pretty much my rule of thumb has been, charge the retail price and then whatever it costs me to put the seed down, or I'm sorry, whatever I charge to mow, that's what I charge them to put the seed down. And then I don't mow for 2 weeks and make sure they water.
Yep.
And
Beat them over the head with that because I did
Yeah.
2 overseed jobs on Friday. And I said, hey, look, if I'm going to do this, you have to water. And I charged roughly the same with how you did it with the seed and the spreading of the grass seed because it's like it's so futile, Greg. They pay for it and then they don't water because you had a client who you overseeded for, was that last year? And they didn't water it.
right. Yeah. We aerated it too. You aerated it. We put seed down, and he didn't want. And the best part is on the video we talked about. I said he said to me, "Greg, I've got the worst lawn in the neighborhood.
He was
What do
waiting
I
for
got
the
to
grass
do?" I
grow.
said, "We need to aerate it. We need to seed it."
Yep.
And so we aerated it, we seeded it, and he didn't water it, and he's still got the worst lawn in the neighborhood.
And
So
it's been great to kind of hash this out, Greg, and hopefully we've kind of helped you guys think about things because we had to do more of year-round thinking in this industry. So leaves are coming up, snow, steady winter work, but equipment, there's wear risk and long hours. And I got to start doing this though too, is the idea of a service calendar, like mapping out year-round income streams. And then we'll do that, Greg, in the winter. I don't want to have to dash again. I'm trying to, hopefully it's more snowy. Like I hope you get like a ton of small snows so I can really get out there with the multi-force and make money. And what we're basically saying, Greg, is you really want to be that one-stop shop because it makes your clients stick around longer. And from the business side, we really have to choose wisely. Here's some questions, to ask yourself before adding a service: is does it fit your client base? We always bounce ideas off each other, Greg. Is the margin worth the labor and equipment? Now, we both say that because you're pretty good with the math there, Greg. Like you'll tell me you made X per hour. Do you have the time and capacity in your schedule? That's been my pitfall, right? My downfall was I didn't have the time. When Greg's like, "Hey, can you come help me?" I'm like, "No, I'm stuck mowing." And then what's the local competition? Greg, you're great with our local lawn care Facebook groups. You're always asking, and it's getting the pulse of what people are charging. Dominate 3 service and don't dabble in 8. That's
right.
Easier said than done because you see those lawn trucks that go by. It's like mowing, construction work, pool installs, fertile. It's like, how do you do all that stuff?
Yeah, well, they have teams that are doing. They have one team that's doing the pool stuff. They have another team that's doing something else. So they're specializing in while they have 8 different services, but they have one team that specializes in one thing over the other. So, but it's also you've heard the term before. I'm blanking on what the term is. Or the phrase, master of.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Jack of all trades, master of none. Thank you.
Yep.
Sorry.
That's one time.
just
Hey,
couldn't get
Greg, that's
yeah.
one time that I got you right with a trivia question. Usually you get me on here, like you stump me with the music, and I'm like, I don't know that music or that pop or that movie reference there, movies.
Yeah. But that's what we got to be careful of, is that you're not spreading yourself too thin, making sure that you're doing your job, doing the jobs that you're doing well. And, even, Charlie Kirk, I just heard a story about Charlie Kirk, who we lost a week and a half ago. And Charlie used to wear a red wristband that said, be better, work harder. And it was a great mantra. And be better, work harder. And he wore that all the time. I guess I read it. Yeah, it was a red wristband, and then somebody was at a college, and somebody asked him if they could have it, and he said, "Yeah, here." So he just gave it to the person. So, but that's what we want to do: is be better, work harder at what we're doing. There's something that you had said was the margin on labor and equipment. And you had kind of referred to it earlier as if like aeration. If you guys are going to aerate and you don't have an aerator, I don't know, what's an aerator one? Evan, your aerator would have been brand new, 10, 15 grand?
It would have been 12 grand. I had slipped in and got mine for 7. That's why I did it. I normally probably wouldn't have gotten into it, but that's why rent before you buy, like kind of test it out.
Exactly.
And you could, honestly, I mean, I do have the approach of, at least with mowing equipment, Greg, when we talked about it, we err on more the side of buying new and financing, because I don't trust any of these guys in the industry. They beat their mowers and their equipment to death, and people lie, and I don't trust them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, but heck, rent. I know a guy that used to rent all the time an aerator, made a lot of money doing aerations, and that's just what he did. And
rent it for a day, get like 20 lined up, like because I did 20 the other day, and I made well over $1,000. So. Yeah. And it was no effort. I just hopped on there and poked a whole bunch of holes there in the yard. Mm-hmm. Even the walk behind, rent one, try it out. Pick one new service to test next season. Greg and I were both trying to sharpen each other's skills, and Greg will say, hey, why don't we try this, or why don't we try that? And we both go to the drawing board, try it out, and what do you have to lose, right?
Right. I mean, there's opportunities out there for you. It's just whether or not you're going to take advantage of them. Remember, the other thing is the Christmas lights. Some guys are doing Christmas lights, and they can make really good money doing Christmas lights. So, as you're starting to look toward the winding down of your season, that might be something for you to be able to consider as well. And that's a short season. I mean, that's 6 weeks, 8 weeks.
It is.
And
apparently
it's done.
It's really good money, because was when we had Grant back on the show after the Expo last year. These guys he was saying, Greg, didn't he say that guys who install lights, they're making more than the guys who do snow? I was shocked. I thought he said that, but I'm pretty sure he did.
I know he said you could make as much money in 6 to 8 weeks doing lights as you make in the season mowing.
Okay, it was mowing. I guess I thought he said it was snow, but mowing. Okay,
yeah, it was mowing.
That makes more sense, guys. But like consider your lineup. Our lineup: mowing, mulch, hedge trimming, brush removal, aeration, overseeding, leaf removal, and snow. Okay, sure, that's like 8 services, but we're not just dabbling. Like, we actually do it. And then kind of a call to action, though, is what's the add-ons that, what add-on service has helped you most this season? Hey, email us, turfnerdspodcast@proton.me, and we'll share it. Like listener Drew Alexander, Greg, he installs sod. We'll be getting him on the show soon. He installs sod, and he says it's actually easier than you think. There's a way to do it, and margins on it are real good. So maybe that's something that we could consider. But he said you got to get some of that heavy equipment, though. So it's like the labor on it's not terrible, but you got to have some of the equipment to move it around. I'm not putting I could put pallets of sod in my truck and trailer and doing it like that, but it's just moving it, though. Got to be efficient.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's well, if you can get them to drop the pallet on the lawn or on the driveway, then you just haul it from there. Throw it in your multi-force.
I was about to say the mulch bucket. We might be able to do that. There's a proper way to do it, because we've seen sod installs, Greg, where it's like sod's way up and then the other grass is way low.
Yeah. So that's the only thing, is you got to make sure that it's grass. Sod's about 2.5 inches thick. And if you don't prep it properly, then you're going to have either low or high sod. So you just got to make sure that you're getting it in right, and you also got to make sure that you're buttoning it up to its seams really well. So I've seen guys lay sod in one of the neighborhoods I laid in that I cut in. 2 years later, I could still see the seams. They did such a poor job laying sod.
Sit there and shake your head, right?
Yeah.
Well, Greg, I think that about does it here. We hope this encourage you guys. What's your mic drop, Greg? Before I go up and eat some food.
The mic drop is you haven't eaten yet.
No.
Yeah, guys, continue to pray for our country. You know, we saw the death of Charlie Kirk here, the assassination of him, and you know what's happened. But you know, what we saw out of this is just an uprising with regard to the Lord's path, and we don't know
faith.
Yeah, just people growing in faith, people going to church that have never gone to church, and because they knew Charlie's message, they had heard it before, they just felt like, hey, this is something I need to do, and pray for the country because we got a lot of young people. The last I heard, there were about 60,000 requests for chapters in schools and for Turning Point chapters. So, I guess
everywhere.
That's everywhere. I mean, that's around the world probably. But in the U.S., if those were, there's 23,000 high schools in the country, 23,000 high schools, not high schoolers, high schools in the country, and Charlie's goal was to try and get about 10,000 of those, and I would be willing to believe that we might be able to get a chapter in every high school in the country right now because of his message and what was done. So we pray for Turning Point USA, pray for the country, for these young people coming up, that they would get to know Christ, that he'll touch their minds and their hearts and be able to grow and understand who Jesus is, what he's done for them, and what he will do for them.
Excellent. Guys, thank you. Do us a favor, rate the show 5 stars only. We don't take anything less, Greg, right?
Yeah, we prefer 5.
Always 5. Guys, thanks.